Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Hub back into the video today, and today the Seattle Seahawks have released cornerback Quandre Diggs, who is actually related to Stephon Diggs and Trevon Diggs. He is the cousin of Stephon and Trevon Diggs. Obviously, Stephon and Trevon Diggs are brothers, and Quandre Diggs is their cousin. Diggs is a three-time Pro Bowler. Was a Pro Bowler from 2020 through 2022, and has really made a name for himself in the last couple of seasons from 2020 through 2023 with the Seattle Seahawks. He joined the Seahawks in the 2019 season, and that's where he started to play good football with the Seattle Seahawks. He's been in the league since 2015 with the Detroit Lions. Let's go over what he did in 2023 with the Seahawks. He played 17 games with 17 starts this year with one interception that he returned for 21 yards, 5 passes deflected for 95 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. That was it. 2022, he had 4 interceptions, returning those for 70 yards. He played every single game, did not miss a game. 17 games, 17 starts, 7 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble, 71 tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. 2021, he was a Pro Bowler. 17 games, 17 starts, 5 interceptions, 68 yards returned for those interceptions. Longest was 29, 7 passes deflected, and 94 tackles with 1 tackle for loss. 2020 with Seattle, 16 games, 16 starts, 5 interceptions for 57 yards returned. 32 was his longest, 10 passes deflected, 64 tackles. Then 2019 was his first year with Seattle. He played 5 games. He went to Seattle in the 2019 season after starting off the season with Detroit, playing 5 games with them. And he went to Seattle. He played 5 games with 5 starts, had 3 interceptions with 99 yards returned for 1 touchdown. His longest was 55. 3 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble, and 21 tackles with the Seattle Seahawks in only 5 games. So he did a lot in 5 games with the Seattle Seahawks. And now, after he's been with the Seahawks for the last 4.5 seasons, or 4 seasons and 5 games of a season, his time with Seattle is over, and I can't wait to see who picks him up, because he's a really good cornerback, and he's made himself really available for the Seahawks. Injuries haven't been a big problem for him. But let me know your thoughts on the roster move from the Seattle Seahawks. They're also going to get to another roster move that the Seahawks made. And that was cutting backup tight end Will Dissly. I'm going to go over that roster cut. Will Dissly's been, he's another guy who's been with the Seahawks for a long time. Just as long as Diggs has been with the Seahawks. Well, just a little bit longer. He's been with Seattle since 2018, so he was there a little bit before Diggs was, but he's been the backup tight end for a while. Or he's actually started at tight end for I thought Noah Fant was their starting tight end, but Will Dissly is. 16 games, 14 starts this season, 22 targets, 17 receptions, 172 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. Obviously, Will Dissly is the starter, but Noah Fant is getting way more targets, and also is getting more targets, getting more receptions, getting more yards. The ball is going more to his way. I think Will Dissly's been more of a more traditional tight end, blocking, and doesn't really get the ball thrown to him as much as Noah Fant does. 2022 at Seattle, played all 15 games, or missed 2 games, played 15 games, 15 starts, 38 targets, 34 receptions, 349 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. And that was his best season with the Seattle Seahawks. That was the most receiving yards he's ever had in a season. That wasn't the most touchdowns he's ever had, but that was the most targets, and that was the most receptions he's ever had in a season of his career with the Seattle Seahawks. And although I would say the one that is closest to it, to that 349, is 262 with the Seahawks, and 6 games with 6 starts and 27 targets and 23 receptions with 4 touchdowns. So he was building himself a really nice 2019 campaign with the Seattle Seahawks, where he had, think about this, compare 2022 and 2019. He had a total of 87 more receiving yards in 2022 than he did in 2019, even though, and although he did play 9 more games in 2022 than he did in 2019. If he would have played the amount he did in 2020, the amount he played in 2022, if that happens in 2019, injuries are not a problem, then, he would have cleared his highest receiving yard season. Also had 4 touchdowns in 6 games with nearly 300 receiving yards, so that's not bad at all. But let me know your thoughts on the two roster cuts. Will Dissly and Quandre Diggs are no longer Seahawks. Also, Jamal Adams was cut, so Seahawks are making moves. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.